This week, Jiles interviews Lorrie Denson, president of EVC College.
This is my third year, yes.
Outstanding. So, how has it been the last 3 years?
I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
We'll leave it at that for right now. We'll come back to it. So, tell us more about your experience in education.
Oh, I've been in education pretty much all my life. I started out in '84 receiving my associates in early childhood, taught at various preschools for a number of years, then went back to school and received my bachelor in elementary education. And since then, taught elementary ed, actually even up to 7th grade. And then I went back and received my master's in administration.
Oh,
So,
outstanding.
yes.
So,
I currently work at Excelsior as a facilitator.
oh, outstanding.
Yes. So I'm all about education.
Okay. So, what are the key elements in education? What drives you to it?
I believe, as the Bible says, my people are destroyed from lack of knowledge. If we don't know anything, we don't have any goals, we don't know what to do. We have no aspirations, we're just kind of like tossed to and fro with the wind. And so I believe an education is important for anyone, whether they go to college, they go to trade school, they go to the military. They have to be educated in something in order for them to be successful in life.
Outstanding. Our show's about educating, informing, and inspiring the community.
Yes.
And you definitely educate, you definitely inform, but you also inspire. You're the first lady of Burning Bush Church there.
Yes, I am, and it's an honor to serve in that way as well. My husband and I have been married for about 17 years, and Burning Bush Local Church in the Victorville area. Our motto is changing people, changing families, changing communities, and changing nations. And so we work very hard to reach outside those four walls and do things within the community that will enhance and inspire individuals to be better people.
Oh, outstanding. But the most important thing about you, our community, is she's from Kansas.
I am.
How did you get out here from Kansas? What happened?
I never thought I would be in California. I actually had a sister who lived here, and on one of my visits, I met my husband now, and so that drew me back to the West Coast. Yes.
Okay, I'm going to talk about it. That's how you did it, huh? Okay. Again, we talked about education is so important to the children.
Yes.
But let's talk about a more serious subject then. Let's talk about the accreditation status of Victorville College.
Yes.
It's a touchy subject, I know that.
It is.
But we've talked off camera about how important education is for our community, how a great junior college or college in the area helps bring the right kind of jobs to the area that affects our economy. So can we elaborate on status?
I feel, since I've been here since '96, that Victor Valley Community College is like a beacon of hope. It's an opportunity for students, whether they're 18, just coming out of high school, or adults going back for a second career or further training. This is a educational facility and institution that should be viable, should be progressive, should be available to everyone who has a desire. And so when we went on probation, it hurt, because that's saying that you're not up to par, you're not up to standard.
Right.
We were told that last year by faculty, staff, and administrators, that we were assured that we could rest assured the board that we would be off of probation when we submitted everything last October. That didn't happen, and that was hurtful for us because we were told one thing and then it didn't happen. And I believe the community deserves more. As I said, I started with babies from 2 years up, and some of the students that I taught in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade are at VBC, and we owed them to be around. So now, again, we've been assured, there were 3 recommendations that out of the 9 that we did not have 100% completion of, and again, I'm assured that that's going to happen this year, and I truly hope that it does. We're supposed to have the report again by October 15th, but our goal for ourselves, our personal goal, is by June 28th, I believe it's the 28th, so that we can be finished before summer starts. Because once summer hits, staff, faculty, and what have you, they're off. So we wouldn't have the opportunity to work on it. But they're working hard, they're reporting to us, and so preferably it will be done.
I know it's very important for our community that this college stays afloat and stays strong.
Definitely.
It's important for us to recruit jobs, as we talked about before.
Yes.
So I'm doing anything I can do to help.
Thank
college,
you. Thank you. We appreciate it.
But the college isn't sometimes, I should say sometimes, isn't user-friendly sometimes. I know.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's any kind of business operation, any kind of government order, it's kind of not user-friendly sometimes. I know there's a lot of people applying for classes, and sometimes it's something that you may not deal with day to day, but they all can't get the classes.
That's true.
So the need for education, the will for education is there. But, again, you can only have certain amount of classes.
That's very true.
So.
They have a registration, what do we call it? There's a registration process, and different ones, have, like if you're an existing student, then you have priority over someone who's coming in. A couple of the problems that I've seen is that I don't believe the community really understands community college. Some of the students have been there for years. And when I was growing up, a junior college was just that. It was a bridge between high school and a four-year institution. If you chose to transfer out, if you were just going to get your associates, then that's fine. You get your associates in that couple of years and you go into your career path. Some of the students have been there 6 years, 7 years, I mean, to me, that's ridiculous. You've spent this time when you could have been in a four-year institution and had a bachelor's or a master's in that amount of time. So I don't think some people consider they're not serious about community college. They don't have a goal to hit it and quit it, so to speak. So that's one of the problems. When we have students who have been there for a number of years, beyond the 2 or 3, it doesn't leave room for the new ones that are coming in out of high school. We also have students who have received one associate's degree and they're going for another one. There's some things that are going to change. Our Chancellor, Bryce Harris, was saying that they were going to change the priority registration, which I think is great. Because if they do that, then some of those, if you have your 60 plus hours, you can be, I don't want to say knocked out, but move on.
Administratively.
Move on so that we have room for the new graduates that are coming out of high school or adults who are coming there, for a different career.
And we talked about that single mother or that single father who's trying to come in and maybe get a promotion for the job or just to learn something about whatever subject, a hobby, whatever. And if the classes are full,
It's difficult. And our foundation has seen that same thing happening. So their pledge this year is to raise, I believe it's $1 million to add 50 classes, I believe it is. And so they're working really hard trying to secure partnerships within the community, trying to get endowments and scholarships so they can add these classes because we can't afford to. And so they've taken it upon themselves to do that, and that's wonderful because we'll be able to help that many more individuals.
I'll reach out to the foundation and see if I can get them to come on the show as well.
Oh, that would be great.
To talk about it. So the college serves a great purpose for the community.
Yes.
Our accreditation status is, we're working on it.
We're working on it. We're going to work it out.
But let's talk about the importance of college safety, something I know you're really, really passionate about.
I'm really passionate about safety because, like I said, I've worked with children all my life and I believe our children should be safe. And I know that at the college we have adults as well, but everyone has the right to be safe. And even recently with the Boston Marathon and the bombing that took place there, and then a few months back we had a suicide. It was a single shooter, but it was a student who I guess felt overwhelmed and depressed and took his life. And so safety is of the utmost importance. The board just passed a couple of months ago. We passed a an issue in regards to hiring another police officer. And although this police officer will be administrative, it will still help in the evening, because we did not have an administrator in the evening, is what was shared with us. And so consequently, paperwork that needed to be signed by administrator in the evening didn't happen. And there were times when someone may have had to be let go. You know, if they were arrested or detained, they would have had to be released because we didn't have an administrator to sign off. To me, that's unspeakable. That should never happen. If a person is arrested or detained for questioning regarding an incident, then we should be able to proceed accordingly, no matter what time of day or evening it happens. So that should help. We also have a wonderful alert system. When we had the shooter, when we had Dahmer, when he was up in Big Bear, we so there was a text that came to me. I was in DC for a legislative meeting, but there was a text that came to me saying that he was in the area, and we shut campus down. And so we have this text and email system that's really, you know, quick in alerting staff and students and faculty and the public at large what's going on.
It came about with Virginia Tech, if I remember correctly, that situation they had with Virginia Tech, they had to warn everybody, but they couldn't do it.
Yes.
And so now we have the system at colleges and schools.
Yeah, and you have to. I mean, it's happening on elementary campuses, middle schools, high schools. One of the biggest problems, and I remember this from at the elementary classrooms, is that you have to lock your doors from the outside. So that's something it's going to cost, but that's something that we're trying to do as well. In all the schools, I've been told, is change it where you can lock from the inside. Because if there's someone on campus, an active shooter or whoever, and you have to open your door to lock it, you're still opening those students and that staff member up for, exactly. And so that's something that needs to be changed.
I'm thinking maybe like a keypad, you can press a button or something like that. I'm sure it can be done.
It can be done,
It can
definitely.
definitely be done. Yeah, that's very interesting. I know you have some very, are your officers, do you know if your officers are armed at all?
I believe so. I'm not for sure. I've never really checked.
Yeah, I don't want to check with me now.
But I believe they are. I believe they are.
I do know that my experience with the officers at the college has always been outstanding. They're extremely efficient. I did a couple of community classes there.
Okay.
I actually taught those community classes, and they are always worried about safety, especially young ladies walking back and forth to the college.
Exactly.
And I think you guys do an outstanding job with that.
And we have our new regional public safety building out in Apple Valley, and that's where the EMTs, the police academy is there, the fire. And so I even went for the grand opening, and they had some simulated activities in which you're in a corporate office and there's a shooter, and so I had my little fake Glock, you know, and you're supposed to just shoot, you know, and it was a real cool experience because you have the opportunity to react, you know, because sometimes you don't have time, so you gotta, you know, react accordingly, and so they're doing more of that, helping us be prepared for the what can happen. You don't want it to happen, but you want to be prepared in case it does.
Perfect. What is the college doing as far as sustainability projects and green projects? They're doing a pretty good job of that as well?
We are, and you know, it's funny that you would ask. Yesterday even, I received an email yesterday, and it was from California Community College Board of Governors, and it announces the winners of the annual Energy and Sustainability Awards, and we were one of them.
Oh, congratulations!
Yes.
Congratulations!
So we received the District Leadership Award, and you know, we've built the solar field with the panels. We're working on the parking garage. We removed a considerable amount of turf about a year ago so that we could save on water. So there's many green projects that we're doing so that we don't have to pay as much down the line. It can save the college a maximum amount of dollars so that we're able to offer more classes and be here for the community. You know, we are in the desert, so we should have a desert landscape. You know, appreciate where we are and not try to make it something else. The desert has its own beauty, and so we're trying to focus on that.
Perfect.
Yes, we're really pleased about that.
Well, congratulations to the college as well.
Thank you.
What other notable programs does the college have? Do you talk about?
Well, as I said before, the fire program, the police academy, the EMT. We just had a graduation. It was at the end of I think it was end of February, the first part of March. It was the avionics graduation for mechanics, and it was out at a hangar at Southern California Logistics, and that was wonderful because that's a new and growing program, having mechanics for the various airplanes, and the graduation took place right by one of the large, I don't know what was that, 737, one of those big, massive airplanes. And actually, I took a tour of it because it was one of the ones that, the Orbis, that the flying eye, where they go to other countries and they do eye surgery. In other countries, something we want to eliminate, they go blind for cataracts and things that we fix just like that. And so they are our doctors, or that group of doctors, it's a nonprofit organization. They go to those particular countries and they do the surgery for free, showing their doctors how to do it and prevent blindness of children and adults alike. But that was out there, that plane was out there. They were retiring the one and going to start a new one. Our nursing program is in the top, of the country. We have a long list of people wanting to get in. So we have some great programs. Right. We're trying to make sure that we keep in line with what's coming in regards to the outlook of careers. We want to make sure that we address the need for now. And it can't be when we were built 50 years ago, because those jobs may not be the need for now. With technology and everything progressing, we want to make sure we meet the needs for the community as of today.
Sounds good.
More to come from our guest, Lorrie Denson, after this public service announcement.
Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Welcome back to Our Community, brought to you by the CYAP.
So tell me, what do you think the state of education is? I know with budget cuts at the state level, what do you think the present state of education is for California?
If you look at the overall picture, it's pretty dismal. As I said before, I came here in '96, and one of the things that really perturbed me, I came in as a new teacher. Well, I had taught in Kansas and Illinois, but I came in as a new teacher to California, and I was given 34 students, which in Kansas and Illinois was unheard of to have that many individuals in a class. And I was giving a laundry list of objectives that they were supposed to reach, not for the whole year, for this trimester. Then there was another list for the next trimester and another list for the third. And it was ridiculous. The students, when they come, say I'm teaching 4th grade, all of them are not ready for 4th grade. They're not reading, writing, or doing math at 4th grade level. So to teach all of them, all of those learning objectives in the same course of time, it is an unrealistic expectation. It's already been proven if students aren't reading by 3rd grade, there's more of a chance that they're going to drop out, more of a chance that they're going to end up in prison. Because when I worked with 7th and 8th graders and they couldn't read, they would front, if you will. They would fake it till you make it. Right. And they would act like they forgot their book when I asked them for an oral presentation, or they would act like they didn't understand the assignment, because they're not going to get up in front of their friends and let them know that they can't read. Right. And so until we address that where they are, California, at least in the Victor Elementary School District, they had stipulations. They didn't really want you to not pass someone. I came from the knowledge that if you are not passing, you need to repeat. Right. You need to be remediated. And I had students, that were not, and they were passed on. So it makes it more difficult for them when they get into 7th and 8th grade. Now they're coming out with the core curriculum, the core standards, which is saying, I'm not saying I told you so, but it's saying what I said. Oh, these objectives, there's just too many of them. Let's narrow this list down a little bit and focus more on project-based or hands-on exploration. That's what we did in preschool. That's how you begin.
Right.
It never should have changed.
Right.
And so you have students who don't understand what geometry has to do with life, and if you don't give them real life practical experiences, they don't want to invest in it. They don't want to put forth any effort in it
Right.
because they don't see how it's going to help them in the future. So education now, they're going to the core. If they stay with the core and build upon that, we can change. It's going to take time because you've got a whole group of students who never received that. Just like with the high school exit exam, you want everyone to pass that, but you're having groups of students who have not had that knowledge. So it's difficult for them. I have seniors now who still haven't passed it. So next year they're going to have to come back and take that test again before they receive their diploma. You know, so when they go to community college or four-year college, they don't have the reading skills, they don't have the math skills, algebra, they don't have the writing skills.
But see, I think the part of the education that I see as well is that everybody's not designed to go to college.
That's true.
We tend to focus on everybody, and all my children so far, except for my 8-year-old, have been to college. So yes, in my family that's standard, but in some people's families that's not standard.
And it doesn't have to be. It really doesn't. Your child needs to have a goal to do something.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be college, but they still need basic reading, writing, and math skills.
Right.
When you go to complete an application, and I kid you not, this happened in one of my classes, on the application it said DOB. We know what DOB is, but the student said it was DOB. They don't know basic, you know, acronyms. They don't know.
But they can tweet. They can tweet that.
Exactly. Give me 3 adjectives to describe yourself.
Right.
You know, there shouldn't be any pauses like that. There's basic information, basic skills that everyone should know. And they need to get that in elementary school, middle school, and high school.
Right. Just basically giving them the tools they need to be successful.
Exactly.
And are we doing it? Speaking of are we doing it, when they show up to the college, are we doing it? Are they prepared enough to operate in
No,
college?
sir, they are not. As I said, I work with seniors, and I have, you know, Excelsior is a really good school, but Excelsior is an independent study program, and it's really for the driven. It's for the student who has a strong sense of work ethic, the student who wants to do more, wants to supersede just the A through G requirements, because they can concurrently go to VVC. I have students who have come there, and parents have allowed them to come there because they think it's easier. Because they don't have to go to class every day and have 6 periods a day. They come there, and then they're surprised when it's time for testing, they don't pass. They give me a packet of work that they're supposed to do daily, and it's not done. And you expect it to pass the test. I have never seen a group of students in this day and age who want to get so much for so little. They don't want to do any work, but they want to graduate. They don't want to take the test, but they want you to put down that they
Took the test.
Exactly. I have more excuses.
But what is that a product of? Is that a product of parents or socialization from early? As you know, I'm a track coach as well.
Yes.
And it's almost like a boot camp. I have to re-educate them on, no, here's what I say and here's what you will do. They're not used to authority figures and stuff.
They're not.
And this is not just Excelsior kids. This is
it's all across.
So
Yes.
in reality, I think we're on the same accord here. We're doing as parents, we need to do a better job of getting our kids prepared. Our generation is becoming weaker moving forward, and that's part of it. They have all the tools though. They have the nice little iPhones and computers. Imagine, because back in the day, well, I'm definitely older than you are, but we used to go to the library to get the encyclopedia just to.
I remember the card catalog now. I remember the card catalog.
You know that.
Yes.
But that's what we used to do. Now they can you grab their phone and press a few numbers and an address and get information of any question they want.
Exactly.
So they don't have an excuse really to.
They don't. I believe it is a team effort. I believe it is the student, the parent, and the teacher. And I've always said that, well, since I've been in education, I've said that I've told parents, you are your child's first teacher.
Exactly.
You know, you didn't have to have a credential to be their first teacher.
Right.
So they take their spin off, their jump from you. I spoke to a parent yesterday, I believe it was, and one of the things that frustrated her daughter's 18. And since she's 18, she knows she can do whatever she wants.
Right.
So she's decided to move. So she's moved. And so her mom was asking me how she was doing in school, and she struggles. And mom feels frustrated because she can't do much. She decided she was going to move, and there's nothing I could do to keep her there. And so then she brought up that now the kindergarten age, you have to be 5 by, I think it's October now. It used to be December. And so she's saying, so my next child is going to be 18 or 19 when they graduate. What happens when they don't listen to me? When they don't want to hear me anymore? I can't be their mother. So a lot of parents are frustrated because they're thinking that once their child turns 18, they have no voice in directing them and guiding them. And so that's
It starts at an early age, though. You build that relationship.
That's true, it
The
does.
bigger issue with that is, I don't believe, this is my personal opinion, you're not your friend, your kids. I tell my kids, I'm not your friend.
Yes.
I don't want to be your friend. I'm your parent. It's a difference in that. And we talked about, another guest we had earlier, talked about heightened expectation of children, which you concur. That, to me, that's the number one piece. If you expect them to do something, as long as it's attainable, and you support them to get there, don't just say go to college without doing the background work to figure out how to get to college, where the scholarships are, when you have to take the test. If you don't do your background work as a parent, you can't expect them to be successful.
That's true.
Right? So you have to be engaged and help them with the homework. If you don't know the homework, find somebody to do it.
Exactly. In my family, we grew up with very little money. Mom was a single parent up until I was in 5th grade, and she told me I was going to college. I was the first one out of 6 children. I was the first one to go, and I'm child number 5. Now, since then, I've had my older siblings have gone on to college and received their degrees as adults. My children, my husband and I have a blended family. He had 2, I had 2, we adopted 1. So we had 5, and 1, 2, 3 of them have college degrees. One has a master's. And then one's in college now, and the one, he just got married, he's in the Air Force, but hoping that he'll continue on in education as well. We've spoke that since they're, and we want them to know that you never stop learning, you never stop growing,
So the enlightenment starts with us teaching our kids, but also is enlightenment from a parent's point of view.
Definitely.
You have to believe that you can will your child to the next level. If you reach out to your child and you tell your child this is what is expected of you, and believe in them, give them the tools to be successful, they will be successful. I want to thank you for being on our show today.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you for being on our community.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.